The topic of today is this brand that we purchased back in February. IBD Assist. IBD stands for irritable bowel disease. It was a brand, e-commerce brand, supplement brand, all focused around irritable bowel disease. So like Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, IBS, all those kind of things. And it had an interesting product line. So you can see gut support here, which is, whoops, almost dropped my coffee on myself, which is a all-around gut health multivitamin. Belly Bestie, which was a multivitamin focused on IBS relief. Gut Support PM, that's just your nighttime multivitamin for gut. And then the really interesting product, and I'll be talking a lot about this product here, Hashiaid, which is a thyroid support supplement, all geared around helping people that have thyroid conditions, Hashimoto's, low thyroid, high thyroid, hypothyroidism, all those kind of things. It's really just a multivitamin for those specific people and what they might be lacking in their everyday diet. So it was a very bare bones brand. This brand was doing approximately 350, 400 grand a year in revenue. Not a big brand by any means, but hey, we're doing this. I've had experience growing e-commerce brands. And we have this company Exco where we're helping e-commerce brands grow. Well, we want to eat our own dog food. So that means every strategy and thing that we implement and try with other brands, we try it on ourselves first. And if it works, then we go apply it to other brands and help them grow. So that was the whole reason for purchasing this brand. Now, when we purchased this brand, they're on Shopify, they're on Amazon. Here's one of the Amazon listings. Shout out to the Amazon team for making some beautiful A+ content. The core product was Gut Support. And even the name of the company, the previous owner was looking to change the brand name to Gut Support. So you can see that here, Gut Support. This was the main product. This is what all the ads were essentially going to. If I go into the ad account, which I will in a minute, actually, I just want to show you guys where I'm going with this. When I go into the ad account, you'll see a lot of the ads went to the Gut Support product. So this was interesting. You've got 3 gut related products and then 1 thyroid related product. And long story short, we did some digging. We found the thyroid product to be the hero product. And now we're kind of faced with this weird phase of trying to connect gut health to thyroid health, which there is a connection. But it's a very interesting transition that I'm going to be talking a lot about. So real quick, the thing that we're talking about here is subscriptions. So this is our subscription app that we use, Loop Subscriptions. I highly recommend it to everybody. I am biased, but I am biased for good reason because it freaking works and it's just amazing. So you can see back here, subscriptions were pretty much, I wouldn't say they're non-existent. I'd say MRR was probably like, when we first acquired the company, maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month in monthly recurring orders from subscriptions. And you can see we grew this thing quite a bit over the last couple months here. 45-ish days is when it really started to take off. So we really grew subscriptions here. And it's all from the strategy that I want to talk about here. So this is what we use to look at this. And real quick, before I jump into like the actual strategy, the one thing that we did differently, or not differently, but one thing that we did before even acquiring the brand is we knew the end goal was get as many subscribers as possible, because we found that an average subscriber was sticking around for about 6 months. This will change. So this entire document here is 36 months of kind of like a pro forma of what we think is going to happen as we increase a metric. So ad spend was our metric, right? So as we increase ad spend, what's going to happen to subscription revenue, one-time revenue, Amazon revenue, all that kind of stuff. That way we could actually see what the heck is going on. So we put this together. We took the brand's current cost per acquisition, their new customer cost per acquisition, which you can see here, column D and column E. And I'm just going to jump back to the live stream and make sure everything's good here. Yep, everything is good. Column D, column E, you can see cost per acquisition. That's all customers, new customer cost per acquisition. That's just a very rough idea of what it is without digging into the metrics. We're on, I guess, technically month 4. So post the end of this month, I'll go update all these metrics. Everything you're seeing right now was like pre-planned as we're going through this testing phase. Then subscription orders, new subscriber costs, to acquire a customer there. The average order value at the time, the subscription multiple, and then all that maths out to be what is our one-time revenue going to be, what's our new subscription revenue going to be, and then total subscription revenue past that point, total Shopify revenue, Amazon revenue. Not interested in growing Amazon at all. They take too big of a percentage. We want to grow Shopify first and then put some focus on the Amazon side. So we did this first. We knew like the end goal was growing subscriptions, and this is how we were going to do it. We knew how much we needed to spend roughly. Things change. You have a plan. It can change a month later, which this one did. So you have to adapt, but we had an idea of what we're jumping into. So this was the very first thing that we ended up doing before even acquiring the brand. And I won't get into these other tabs here, but we planned out every initiative from 2025 to 2026 to 2027, broken down by month. So all that to say is that we purchased this brand. We had a plan in mind. Now we're coming out of this testing phase and we're implementing a lot of the stuff that we discussed. So that's what we did before we even acquired the brand. And now we're starting to get into one of our initial strategies, which is trying to grow subscriptions as fast as possible. Now, when I say grow subscriptions as fast as possible, it doesn't mean like the ROI on that subscriber is coming right away. We saw that they stick around for about 6 months, so we played with that a little bit. We said, how much is it going to cost us to acquire a new subscriber? How much is that new subscriber going to be worth after, on average 6 months? And if that changes 5 months, 4 months, are we still ROI positive? So right now we have it kind of based around like a 3-month period, just in case, if we're getting really aggressive at subscriptions, my best bet is that this 6 multiple isn't going to hold because we're going to get really aggressive at acquiring new subscription customers. And then we're going to have to go back later and make sure that we focus on retaining those subscription customers, which is kind of where we're at right now. You could see right here on the graph, we've kind of leveled out a little bit. So I'm not really focused on scaling much further. Right now, the initiative is, and Kaylin on our team is kind of putting this together. What are the tactics that we can do to keep subscribers on subscription so they don't bounce out immediately? You can already see it kind of happening. All these new subscribers that we gathered, you can start seeing this cancellation rate increase a little bit. So that's a really good indicator to me that we really need to focus on cancellation mitigation and make sure that nobody's like churning out immediately after they subscribe. Okay, long story. So let me jump into the nitty gritty details. So we knew this was the goal. We knew we wanted to get subscribers onto IBD Assist. The very first thing was what I mentioned a second ago was we needed to identify which product was actually going to give us the best chance of getting subscribers on. And historically, the brand focused on gut support. When we jump into the ad account here, and I'm already scrolled down, let's go to maximum view so you guys can just see numbers. Oops, not last month. Let's go to maximum. Okay, so you can see, once again, we acquired the brand in February. You can see like this is November. Let's go back a little bit further. There's Black Friday retargeting. There's a gut support one. So 28 purchases, acquiring customers for 53. And I'm not a big fan of Meta's, saying that this is our true number. I will show you how we have it set up so that it's more accurate than not. So I don't know how accurate this number was, but I can tell you it's about spot on. And this is what we based our numbers off of. So you can see gut support 57, 53. Ooh, those were pretty expensive around that time. They did a summer sale. Didn't mean to click into that. Looks like they had some success here, maybe. 4th of July sale, 55, 45, 79. So the point is we went back, looked at this, and we said, why are a majority of the ads going to gut support? That doesn't seem to be the best product. Without going too far into all these different campaigns, we saw this very similar to that product Hoshiaid. Hey, this has a significantly lower cost per acquisition than gut support, which is interesting. So we started to run some more like Advantage Plus campaigns, just very simple bare bones campaigns for gut support, Belly Bestie, gut support PM, and Hoshiaid. And we kept it that bare bones, so there wasn't anything different going on between the offers. And we saw Hoshiaid actually came out with the lowest cost per acquisition. So that's where we started to put our focus. So we said, okay, let's set up our campaigns and make Hoshiade the hero product. And so for about a month, we're just running ads, just a Hoshiade, no subscription offer, just run it to the product page. Let's see what we can do. And it held. So, okay, after a month has gone by, a month and some change, let's start putting some focus on the actual goal here, getting Hoshiade customers on subscription and trying to cross-sell them to all the other products. So that's when we started putting some focus on the subscription side. And one of the things that I do, I've talked about this a few times in past videos, and before I jump in, just making sure the live stream's good, it's good, is I don't want to guess on anything. I love original thought. Original thought is great. But when you are trying to start something new, look at what other people are doing that are ahead of you and mimic them to an extent and then iterate from there. This is not, in my opinion, this is not a place for original thought. Because if you look at another brand that's spending more money than you, it's doing better than you, whatever it might be, chances are they were probably where you were and had to figure out all the ups and downs along the way. And then this is what they landed on for being the best thing for them. And so that's a really good inkling for me to say, I'm just going to go copy that person for now and see if that holds up, see if it works for me. And if not, okay, churn, just find another person, and then churn and then find another person. And I'll just keep going down that path until I find something that's actually working. And then once I got it working, that's where the creativity and the original thought comes from. That's when you start to get creative. It doesn't help when you're just throwing stuff at the wall with no kind of anchor point, I guess you could say. So when we went through this, one of the companies that we were looking at was Seed. Seed was focused on gut health, probiotics, microbiome, all that kind of stuff. Same thing as IBD Assist. They weren't focused on thyroid, though. There's not a lot of thyroid brands specifically out there, which is probably why this product is working well. It's a little bit of a blue ocean, not a lot of blood in the water. So what I did was just in a weekend, I just went to Seed's ad account. I said, hey, they're spending more money than me. They're a bigger company than me. They probably have a lot of things right. And so I'm just going to see what they're doing. I'm going to buy their product. I'm not going to refund their product. I hate when people do that. Buy it, grab it, feel it, take it, try it, understand why it's a good product, because an offer is just an offer. If your product sucks, and you shouldn't be doing business. So understand why it's a good product. That way, when you get the tactics and strategies right, you can go back and work on your product a little bit. So what I do is I go down to the bottom and find like their last active ad. And this is exactly what I did. I just go through and I hit their call to action. And now take this with a grain of salt. They might have stuff switching in the background. And I just keep going up and I'm just clicking along the way. And I'm noticing I'm not paying too close attention to the copy or the ad creative. Save that stuff for an advertising agency turning out creative and copy all the time. You can go pretty dang far, and I'll show you. You can go pretty dang far with just getting a really good offer and having a really good product without worrying too much on your ad creative and your copy. All right, so I'm just clicking through, and I'm finding that all these offers are going to the same place. Okay, so they're spending a lot of money on this offer. So that's giving me an idea that, hey, I probably want to mimic this offer. And so I go through and I analyze it. And so I'm just looking at what's present, what I can see. I can't see any of their data. I can't see their spend. So the best thing I can do is put my marketing cap on or my analytical cap on and just look at this brand and say, why do I think this is working? So I'm not going to go through this entire quiz, but the first thing that kind of stands out to me is complete the quiz for 25% off. Okay, that's interesting. Plus get a free gift. Okay, that's interesting. Let me go back here. Let me look at these ads. All right, they're very simple. They're kind of product ads. Like they're not really saying anything crazy about a discount or anything like that. I see a discount here, but that looks like an influencer. Like this one right here, don't see anything about a discount going on. So that's interesting to me. Okay, so I'm interested in the product. I click on the ad, and now I'm leaning forward a little bit because they're offering me 25% off and a free gift. Great. Okay, so let me analyze this a little bit further. Okay, how often do you poop? All right, that caught my attention. That's a kind of provocative question. That's something that we don't openly talk about. So you kind of got my attention. And I'm assuming they put this little subtitle here to help kind of get your mind like, oh, okay, it tells a lot about my gut health. Let me click this answer. And I started going through the quiz. I'm just reading the questions and I'm analyzing this. And after every question or every other question, they have a little bit of indoctrination going on. So if you remember, I clicked on this ad I was interested in this product. Most people just send me to a product page. And the first objection people have when they hit a product page is price, or the image might not be good, or whatever it might be. There's so many things that somebody can bounce out of your product page from because they just have whatever the objection might be. It might be money. It might be they don't like the way the image looks. It might be whatever, right? But you want to, when somebody clicks on this ad, you want to just handle that objection or get them further into the buy-in process. And so that's exactly what they're doing here. Every question I answer, they're kind of feeding me a little bit of information to help with that buy-in process. So skin health, continue. Okay, they're giving me some more information. There's skin health. That's the thing I'm interested in. So every question I go through, I'm kind of being indoctrinated as I go. Now, this entire process is kind of what we built within IBD Assist. Like I said, I'm not going to go through their entire quiz. Instead, I just kind of want to show you guys our version of it. So after I went through that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to set my timer for 48 hours and I'm just going to see how fast I can replicate it. They probably have some custom code and all this kind of stuff going on. I don't want to spend too much time doing that. I just want to take the things that I think are the things that are getting somebody to convert, and I want to implement them the best way I know how, using applications, different things, and see if I can throw the same ads up that have been working to see if I can get this offer to work for me. And so that's exactly what we did. We got Zipify pages. I love Zipify pages for Shopify. Just makes it easy. Don't have to mess with the Shopify page builder or anything like that. And then like Shoguns and Gem pages are a little bit challenging sometimes. And so we just duplicated the offer. I think it's this one. So we did 50% instead of 25%. Figured that was pretty good. Incentive. I wanted to go over the top, and I just built this in Typeform. So I was like, okay, 48 hours. I just want to test it, see how it goes. Throw in very similar questions as they relate to thyroid health. And then after every question, I want a little bit of information that's going to indoctrinate you further on the actual product. So then I land on this screen, which is very similar to their screen. I won't spend too much time there because I'm running out of time. But unlock 50% off and a gift with your email. So you put in your email here, hit submit, and this is the landing page you land on. So very similar to Seed, that entire time I said nothing about a subscription. That's going to be a lot of people's first objection too, is like oftentimes people don't want to subscribe to stuff. So if I was going to take them from an ad here and drop them on a product page where my goal is to get a subscription and that's the only option, I'd probably bounce right out. Because I indoctrinated them a little bit further, they see the value in the product and why they need the product before they even see that subscription. Now I have an opportunity to sell them a subscription. And that's the only place I say it. 50% off your first month, 30-day supply, $33.96 billed monthly. And this is a very bare bones landing page. Like I said, 48 hours. I just wanted to put it together and see how it worked. And then I want to run it for some time and see if it holds. And that's it. And then we take them to the checkout. So we use Loop subscriptions. Loop subscriptions give you like a nice checkout link that you can create here. And you can attach that to buttons on pages and drive traffic straight to checkout rather than them going to a product page and then checkout. So this ended up working really well for us. And one of the things I wanted to show is that, let me go back to, this one's fine. This was testing back in February. So those ads that we ran back then are the same ad creatives that we are running in our campaigns now. So I'll just go to this one top. Actually, let me deselect and go here. Same exact creative. We didn't change the creative much. We use a software called Icon that we can take our top creative, plug it in there, and it'll like AI generate based on like top performing ads within your niche and create different variations, which I think this is one. This is one. I think that's it, honestly. So we just took our top creatives, and then there's nothing fancy going on here. Like, I'm not screaming, get 50% off or anything like that. I don't want to advertise that necessarily. I think that's just a variation, but there's nothing like glaringly obvious like on this creative, like get 50% off. It was just very simple copy, image, and then a link to actually go to the page to actually purchase. So this offer is bare bones, very simple. This is exactly what we're doing to drive subscriptions. And you can see, like, back when I went to down here, like I think we saw the cost to acquire a customer for Ashiade was like $40-ish, and that was a one-time customer. And like back here, this is March. This is so around last year. So 86, 63, 54, 57, 169, 87, 94, 111, super expensive to acquire a customer. And now I'm happy with this 37, 35, 43, 34, 39. And because we have this set up the way we do, where we're actually sending them to a very specific landing page that goes through a very specific funnel that we don't have on Google, that we don't have on TikTok or anywhere else, I can trust this number a little bit more this number a little bit more that it's actually accurate, because I can see the actual dollars that are going into this funnel and the dollars that are coming out of this funnel. A little bit more accurate. It's still off, I've noticed, but not as much that I've seen as other ad accounts. But now I can actually trust the data that I'm seeing here. And I'm really happy with these numbers compared to the historical numbers. Could they be better? Oh yeah, for sure. The creatives are the old creatives. Like, we didn't do much with the creatives outside of AI. The copy is the old copy. That quiz that I just showed you, built in Typeform, and the pages that I showed you, built in Zipify pages in less than 48 hours. All this stuff can be a lot better, but I wanted to test for a month at a scale that I was comfortable with to actually see if this was going to work for us.